everybody. Welcome to Thursday Night Live with Bill Tucci.
Behold his mighty hand.
Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang.
Just want to manage expectations.
Weird.
This is the worst.
Wow.
Ding goes the bell.
It was lame, wasn't it? Fucking lame.
That intro, man.
That intro.
I got to work on my intro, man.
Yeah. Well, see if Niall will make one for you.
Thursday Night Live with Billy Tucci.
Don't morph my face on other people, though, please.
No.
Too late. Too late.
Too late.
Just women. That'd be pretty fun.
Good to see you, brother, on this crazy ass day. Good to see you, my friend. Glad you got a ass kicking campaign live right now. It's good to see 21 Down return in comic book form. And Niall, good to see you. Good to see the people out there. Look at it. We got in the audience. We got Jimmy Palmiotti's in the audience. Hey, Jimmy. Good to see you.
I was waiting for the life-size she-doll.
Yeah, aren't we all? I've been waiting for that for 35 years.
I think you'd sell a couple of those pretty quick.
The real doll, the real she-doll.
Yeah, the real she-doll. 2 heads, everything.
Oh, all right.
Detachable heads and hands, and I think it'd work.
Happy, unhappy.
We got Ara Galani, the Armenian Knight. Good to see you. Just call me Mel Sane. How do you say that? Melinsane? Hey, Melinsane. Good to see you. Vaughn Coleman. Good to see you. The Canuck has it going, eh?
Coleman. The Canuck. I haven't seen him in forever.
JC.
JC Vaughn in the house.
Oh, JC Vaughn's in there. Hey, what's up, my friend? Good to see you, Jeff. Talk to you tomorrow. What is going on, fellas?
What's going on with Kay?
Same old stuff, buddy. I got a con to do this weekend.
Do you really?
In Nashville. Gonna knock out a couple of tunes on stage and then sign comics.
You should bring
back
Nelson,
on the banjo.
Bring Nelson with you.
Yeah.
Don't bring Amanda. Bring Nelson.
You can play the banjo while Nelson does some heavy metal.
Yeah.
The banjo. It'd probably be pretty good, actually.
I bet you would be good.
He would.
So, guys, we got a lot going on today. Jimmy's got a new Kickstarter campaign up there live. If you want to share that, Niall. And
Brad, I'll see you this weekend as well.
Brad Malcolm. There we go. Boom.
All right.
Why aren't you going to Nashville, Billy?
I went to Nashville. I went to Nashville once, and I had the best time. I went with it was a convention, probably the same con, and I went with Crystal and Rick. Well, they met me there, and they helped me. You know my friends Crystal and Rick, Jimmy.
I've never been to Nashville. I've never been.
Oh, dude, that Broadway Street or whatever is freaking crazy.
Oh, no kidding. Nice.
You're gonna have a blast. You're gonna have a lot of fun. Any other friends coming with you, or just you two?
Amanda Connor.
Yep,
she's coming.
I know. Man.
You know, we're gonna see there is Tom DeFalco and Hildy Mesnick.
Oh shit!
They're gonna be there. I haven't seen them in, I want to say, 15 years, maybe.
Yeah. And Hildy was like Amanda's mentor, right?
She was the editor that hired me to ink Amanda, and that's how I met Amanda, through Hildy.
Yeah, my wife just went to Nashville recently with her migraine therapist. He said it was part of her therapy and that they needed to go, but she said it was a real good time.
I don't know if I like the sound of that. I think she can make it a better excuse.
You know, he's a dedicated guy.
Be more creative with that excuse, man.
Debbie was saying that her migraine therapist was supposed to go with her too. There, he's going to take care.
My cat therapist and Amanda, they went to San Francisco last week.
Lovely San Francisco. So 21 down. So what made you bring this whole collection?
And
how did you get it back? That's what I'd love.
Actually, there you go.
didn't get it back. So let me explain it. So we created the book. Justin Gray and I and Jesus Saez and Joe Jusko on the covers. We created it in 2001, 2002. It came out. It was 12 issues. It did very well. And then we were going to do a season 2, as they call it, which is the next 12 issues. And we even had issue 13 done, penciled, inked, and ready to go. And then Wildstorm canceled a bunch of titles, and we were one of them. And so 13 never saw print. This is a property that for years I tried to get it back from DC, but the contract we signed had a thing. It wasn't a rights reversion contract, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, DC Comics owns the property, and that's fine. But I've been asking DC for years, hey, we'd love to print the 13th issue. We've never done a collection, and the squeaky wheel gets the oil in this business, because eventually DC said, all right, we'll let you guys, what do you guys haven't planned? And I said, well, we want to collect all 12 issues and then add the 13th issue. So I had to color the 13th issue, and Justin and I rewrote it a little bit. And we put it all in one big hardcover. It's over 220 pages of beautiful art by Jesus Saez. And I inked it. I actually won an award for inking it when it came out.
Oh, nice.
And then, and then we got a new Joe Jusko cover for the 13th issue, and it'll be on the back of the hardcover. But we also did a separate, if you bought all 12 and you just want issue 13, you can actually just buy the 13th issue. We have that as part of things. And then we have the hardcover. Of course, we have digital, and then we always do an Amanda Chase cover, which is like a mystery cover. But it's a really basic Kickstarter. It's you're backing to get either issue 13 or the hardcover collection that has all 13 issues in it. It is a giant book, and it's a beautiful hardcover. We hit one of the stretch goals, so we're doing spot varnish on it, and we're also giving away, everybody that backs it gets a digital comic right now, because we're at that part of the stretch goal. And if we keep going, we have a bunch of other things in mind. But it is a book that hasn't seen the light of day since over 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I've had issue 13 in my drawer through moving. And how I didn't lose this book is a miracle. And it was all inked, but actually I got to color it. And the basic story basically is about a guy, his name's Preston Kills, and he has like a superpower. He can touch a dead person and see how they died. And it's a little more complicated than that, but the power only lasts till he's 21, and then he dies. That's where the title 21 Down comes. So the story is about the last year of his life and how he's dealing with the madness that's around him. And then we have him interacting with a FBI agent, this girl that's Mickey, that's trying to pretty much she has her own agenda, but she kind of uses them to get what she wants. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of little, it's since we did it, like a lot of TV shows have touched on the stuff we've done in this book, like Medium, and there's a whole bunch of things that are like it. The 13th issue is an adult comic, so there's a little nudity in it, just to give a heads up. But it is an adult comic all the way through as far as content-wise. It's pretty heavy book. It's dark. It's pretty. I mean, look at Jesus's artwork.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
It's just gorgeous. And that's one of the last books I inked, actually. And it's just a pretty book. It's a great read. It's 13 issues. It is not a quick read, because it's over, like I said, over 220 pages of story. But it's a beautiful monster. And so DC is letting us do a one-time printing of it. So this is the only place you can get the book. It'll only be available through the Kickstarter, and that's it. That's our deal with DC. So it's a one-time thing. We're not going to have a bunch of them. We're not going to be selling it later on. This is the deal we made with them to be able to do this. And they've just been terrific. I could not be happier with the guys at Warner Brothers and DC. They've just been really great with us on this, letting us do this our way.
So I have a question for you, because since DC, owns this IP that you created, but you had the final issue, which never was published through them.
Yes.
Is that the one piece of this series that is yours?
No. So, when when we had the book, Jesus and I did the artwork on it, and we would split the pages eventually, right? And but we don't own it because that's their book. So they just had it. They had the film on it. Let's say 13.
Yeah.
I had the originals. But in order for us to do this book proper and color it and get it going, I had to scan all the originals to do it. And so I've been coloring this for the past maybe half a year. I've been on and off just doing pages of it while we were trying to get the deal together, because I knew eventually when and if we got the green light, it's going to have to go right to campaign and right to print. And this book will, even though it's a hardcover, we're going to be delivering this thing within a month or two. So
nice.
it's gonna be the. I mean, we're and again, like I said, it's just it's a pretty book. You can see the art there. Everything is just.
Yeah, this looks great, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's stunning. It's stunning artwork. Jesus is terrific. I mean,
and these are your colors.
He's been doing Captain America and Punisher up at Marvel for the past year or two. So this is before he became more famous.
And this is all your coloring?
No, this is Paul Mount. So Paul Mount's colored the 12 issues, and then I colored the 13.
The 13.
So if it looks like crap when you get to 13, that's me. So
hey Jimmy, a question for you. Two things. One, will the DC logo appear any place on this book?
Yeah, it will be on the spine of the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
And secondly, do you find this, again, here's something that you created, but as it goes, it's a work for hire type of thing. It's created, it's owned by DC. But
yes.
do you, and we've had this conversation before, and I've had conversations with other creators who have projects at say the majors, that these books are no longer in print, but how you were able to get this book to do this one-time printing, to bring back a book that has basically been defunct for over 20 years from them. They have not chosen to make a collected edition of it or anything like that since. Do you find this could be a trend, that maybe creators could actually start, well-established creators could be approaching these major publishers to do a licensing deal, I guess, of sorts? That's pretty much what you're doing, right? Is that what
I hope it would be. I'm trying to be the best the best partner humanly possible with them. So if anybody else has this kind of deal or anybody else approaches it, they can say, well, yeah, it went really well with Jimmy. Why not give it a shot with somebody else, So I'm trying to be like super, super on top of things. They cleared everything I've done on this Kickstarter, like I've given them in advance. I'm trying to be the best partner I can for them, because I adore that they're letting me do this. I respect that they own the property outright. And yeah, thank you. About 13. That's Joe Jusko did that cover. Joe Jusko did all 13 covers, by the way. Joe's stuff is amazing. But I'm hoping that it opens the door. I figure if they have a good experience with us, then they'll be open to other things. Now, if they had a horrible experience with us, that means I pretty much would be the guy to shut it down for everybody.
Yeah, but at least you got a chance to do it.
Right. And I don't want to be that guy. I want to make it so other people, if there's other deals to be made, they can do it. They've been extremely generous with me over the years. I mean, I try to do all the right things with them. I try to make sure everything's covered and they approve everything. They've approved every piece of everything on this one. And I'm hoping that'd be the case. I mean, publishing is a funny thing, right? Because if I had a rights reversion on it, then it would have just been mine already.
Right.
Like Monolith. Monolith is completely mine, right? The only thing I can't do, or I can do if I ask permission, is 3 issues of the Monolith have Batman in it. So I can't reprint those issues unless I get written permission to do it, So there's elements in the books that when you work for another company, you have to make sure these elements don't tie into other things they do. So when you get the books back, I've gotten books back from companies where I have to take out a page or two or change stuff because I'm referencing other things in their line of books. And with that comes a little bit of changes here and there. But for 21 Down, we really didn't have to do it that much, And then thank you, JC Bourne. I'm going to do that just for you. One day. I will.
Less the Batman.
Believe me, I'd love to do 12-issue collection of that. I just have to get them to either sign off on Batman, or I have to get all the art in the 3 issues of Batman, change his costume in the art, and call him something else.
Yeah.
Batman.
Right? That's possible too. Personally, I'm a comic fan. I like to see if I can get the rights to do it and how much they would need for me to be able to do that, you know? But with this, like I said, this is special. I mean, it's a one-time. I feel bad because people are going to ask me about this book the week after. You know how it goes. This only has a few days left before it ends. And it's always the week or two after where people go, hey, you know what? Can I get 5 of those? And I'm always like, you know, this one we had to put to order whatever the Kickstarter does. We have to kind of do it to order. We have to print a little extra because, you know, we have things that happen like in shipping and stuff like that. We have to make sure we got ourselves covered. But
you have to make up for damages.
Well, this is truly limited. Like this is truly a limited.
Yeah, you're not going to see another one of these. And I will say, you know, anybody who buys one and brings it to a show, I will automatically put a little quick drawing on the inside cover.
Nice.
So,
hey, Jimmy, who does your design? Who designs your campaign?
That's John J. Hill. He designs our books. He designs the visuals for the Kickstarter. He's terrific. I've been working with John for he was our letterer on Harley Quinn. That'll give you an idea.
Okay.
You know, but we've been working with John forever, and John kind of knows what we want. I'm always saying, make it look clean, make it look this, you know. He kind of gets it, you know, with the stuff. It's easy to follow visuals, and you know, the digitals. It's when you look at it, you kind of get a sense of what it is, and he's great.
It's a really great looking campaign. I love the little boxes and how he puts the prices next to the images.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be contacting you because we had a meeting today that we need someone that has time to do all this.
No, I would be happy to share John with you, boy. He's terrific.
Please do. Please.
You know, and like I said, we're going through the art here. This is all stuff that's in the regular series. And then as we go to the top, it's the new pages. So you can tell because the coloring gets a little different with my stuff. I mean, Paul is a master. That's all I'm going to say is he's one of the best in the business. Everyone before this one is colored by me. This is the yellows. That's all colored by me. You know.
Hey, Jimmy, a question for you. These pages, these interiors of this book, they're over 20 years old. When you reached out to DC, did you have these files? Did they have these files? Did you have the remaster of the original comics?
No, they have the original files, the color files, and then for the new book, actually Amanda scanned all the pages, and then we recolored and we relettered, and I had Dave Sharp do the lettering on the new issue. So we had to just get the 13th issue, and we had to get a new cover by Jusco, and then Justin and I had to sit down and go, wait, what the hell are we thinking here? Because in the 20 years we lost the script for the 13th issue.
Oh.
So we had all the art. So we just sat down and said, okay, I think I know this is what's going on. And, you know, we wrapped up one big chunk of the story, but of course it still leads for like one day there'll be more, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
But it is a big read. Like when you sit down and read this, it's like, you're not going to read it in 10 minutes. You're going on a big adventure with this one.
It's great. Now, when you say, like I said, the campaign's doing great. What if the fans read this? You know, those who bought issue 13 again. If you have all 12 issues and you don't want to pay for the whole thing, you can buy issue 13 if you'd like.
Yes.
What happens if the fans we want another one?
Well, you know, then I have to talk to my peeps at DC and say, hey, you know what? There's interest in this. And show them there's interest in it, and then, you know, see if they want to do some more. I mean, it's a conversation, right? Because it doesn't hurt them because it's an IP for them, right? And by me printing it, it keeps the IP alive, right? And and if they sell it for a movie or a TV show, great. We're connected to it, you know. So we would still make out a little bit from it, but you know, I don't know. I figure in 22 years, if somebody hasn't made it, you know, maybe. But again, you know, books aren't on people's radar, right? So we put it out again. Maybe it's on people's radar again. I don't know, but I never bank on that. I don't bank on anything Hollywood because my job is make a great comic. Their job is to adapt it. You know, I don't tell them how to adapt the stuff. They don't tell me how to make my comics, and I'm pretty good with that relationship.
Yeah,
excellent. And good night, JC.
Make sure you get your glass of warm milk.
There's warm Dr. Pepper.
A nice glass of warm milk. I might have some rum tonight. I don't know. I might have a drink. I haven't had a drink since.
Aaron Sleeper's got a question for you, Jimmy. He says, Jimmy, do you own Ash, or is it jointly owned with you and Joe Quesada? Any chance of a complete Ash book?
So I do own Ash, and Joe owns Ash. We both own it evenly, and we've been talking about things lately about it because the funny thing with Ash is we both have all the original artwork. We've never sold a page of Ash.
That's great.
And I even have a book of all the pencil roughs and stuff Joe did. We have it all. So we've been talking about what we could do in the future. You know, I'd love to do more Tales of Ash, but you know, this one is like Joe is like, hey, do Painkiller Jane. You know, that's more of your thing. But Ash, you know, he wants to do it. If we're gonna do it, he wants to do it together. So that one, you know, it has to be in. We have to be in synchronicity to make it happen.
Yeah, and we got someone here in the chat. Yo says, Ash, what's that?
Ash was a comic that came out in 1994 or 5, I can't remember, and it was a fireman superhero. And Joe Quesada and I wrote and we both he penciled it, I inked it, and we put it out for a couple of years, and it was very successful. We actually did some crossovers with like Azrael at DC and other stuff, and yeah, and it's a book that you can probably find in the back issue bins pretty easily. But we haven't published it in a good 20-something years, maybe 25 years.
It's a beautiful book, great book.
Yeah, we had fun doing it. I mean, I read it now and it's insane. It's like two crazy people wrote it.
Yeah.
But that's the fun. But then again, you know what? I also read this book last week, and I don't have the slipcover on it. I'm sorry, I take slipcovers off.
Yeah.
But I read this book, and I noticed that there's a blank page where original art drawing should be, and I noticed my copy didn't have a drawing in it, which was kind of a bummer. But I have to say, I was reading this book.
I'll send you one with a drawing. I'll do it over the weekend.
I'm kidding you. I'm busting your balls. But I was reading this, and I'm like, it's a pretty comic, man. It's a really nice looking book. You know,
I didn't know what the hell I was doing back then. I didn't know.
I mean, the coloring process is kind of weird, right? How is it colored?
It's hand painted. It's watercolor. It's Doc Martin dyes. So it's all hand painted. It's not.
Okay.
It's you know, my buddy Barry Orkin painted it, and then with some assistance by me. And you remember John Tartaglione?
I remember John.
His son and daughter, my friends from college. His son Johnny Jr. is one of my best friends.
Oh, okay.
And they came in like the last weekend, and we finished up the book in the last few pages and all. But yeah,
what is this? This just popped out of the book.
That's because the Senryaku book you got. There's 2 page 38s. So you got a page and not a page 130.
Oh, well, you know,
and that goes into your Senryaku book. It's
okay.
It's a collector's plate signed by me with a big.
I kind of like it. I was just gonna glue it to the inside cover, but
no, it sticks right. If you open a page 138, it slips right in there. That's
all right, man. That's cool.
For our backers. It's a fuck up, and I don't know if you guys like it, but it's 2 page 130.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I like it. I like this. I like the you know, this thing on it because I do kind of read halfway and then come back to it.
Hand.
You know, I'm one of those guys. When I read something, I look at every panel. Mm-hmm. So comics take me a little longer to read than most people.
Yeah. Well, that book is. We're gonna thank you all for supporting us with that book. We're closing that campaign out next week, probably next Thursday. It's been a great campaign, but we got to finish it off as we move forward with She Gatecrasher. That book that Jimmy has, if you guys had ordered the initial Kickstarter, the initial Indiegogo, and the early Indiegogo in demand up to like last week, you will get the sewn-in bookmark ribbon and the dust jacket But but those books are all sold out. So we reduce the price and we offer it without the dust jacket, which Jimmy doesn't like anyway. And
yeah,
and
they always get bent, and I kind of like the feel of the regular.
Yeah, it's the same book. It's got the spot glossing. It's got the
gold. I do dust around my house, so I don't have to worry about dust.
Yep.
So
yeah, I agree. Real quick, if I can answer this, I'm sorry, Jimmy. Billy, when are we going to get the next chapter of She? We going to Japan to battle her mom? Yes, but that's not the next. That's our our November campaign. Our June campaign is She Gatecrasher, where Anna Ishikawa gets trapped in comic book time, and she's aided by my original drawing for She, a character called Ran. And the two of them have to join forces, and they have to literally battle their way through all the decades and genres and trends of comics so she can get home. And it's a big it's all about public domain characters. You're going to see a lot of public domain characters show up. You're going to see a few few independent characters. Thank you to my friends. Not saying one of them is here. What's wrong with that? But all basically when I started. It's all going back to when I started. It's a love letter to comics and to create our own characters, what happens to them, and all about creativity. So that's gonna be a real fun book. It's a 52-page book. That's when I was doing the cover with it's like I said that I figured out what I did. So one of the covers right here is called this is a rough. I was doing this when I was streaming yesterday. It's called Everybody Charleston because again, there's a lot of weird shit in this book. So Anna ends up meeting Steamboat Willie and Steamboat Wilhelmina, I guess. And I couldn't get Willie. I'm trying to do him doing the Charleston, and this will be She doing the Charleston. So I was playing with it, and I got to this level as I traced it, trying to fix her up again because it's quick. And then I realized the problem was, Jimmy.
Yeah.
What's the problem, Jimmy?
What's the problem?
That I had Willie doing the Charleston, but his head was facing the wrong way. So I did that today. So I'm going to start penciling and inking this tomorrow. So now he'll be doing the Charleston like that. It's going to be a fun cover. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff. Again, some creator-owned characters are going to be in that were around when I first started She and when I got into the business. And the rest.
Give you permission to put me in it if you want, like Jimmy Palmiotti.
Jimmy Palmiotti actually appeared in a She comic, and I can show you, Jimmy, if you want to see it.
Sure. I think I remember this.
It's in the archive.
I think I remember this.
She the
Look at those kneecaps.
Number 6. So here's our first omnibus. Here's one without the dust jacket. Hang on.
Yeah, without the dust jacket, Billy. We hate dust jackets.
Yeah, so here's the one without the dust jacket.
Much better.
Yeah, okay, so let's put this. Let's just put this one right here. But so we were having the 90s was so crazy, right, Jimmy, that we literally were all outlaws. we were doing whatever the hell we wanted to.
It's true.
And I'm like, oh, look at this great page. Well, Jimmy appears in a couple issues. There's you right there, Jimmy, with Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Jimmy? Jimmy is
sitting down right over there.
He's right there looking at a drink that this lady Kaio had served them.
Right.
And there's Joe macking on her, of course. And Jimmy's and Amanda drew an olive, but it's not an olive. There's an eyeball instead of an olive.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy appears in a far less
glamorous,
successful drawing, I would say, that I drew Jimmy just in the background. I think Theodore Roosevelt's in it too.
I've been in a lot of comics.
Have you?
Yeah, Umberto Ramos. Remember he used to do that vampire book. I can't remember the name of it. But it was somebody on the thing will remember it. It was about vampires. It was Umberto Ramos. Anyway, the last issue, the main character goes to the bar and sits with me at the bar and talks about his life.
Oh, really?
I didn't even know it till later. And then J.G. Jones put me on a Batman cover.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's Jimmy
Crimson,
again.
that's it.
Crimson, yes. So there's Jimmy. Jimmy's right there. This is after the Heroes Con.
Oh, it's me and a man. It's my robe.
Yeah, Jimmy in the robe. So Jimmy's look at this, right where the light is come on, man.
I can see it. Yeah, yeah. Right in the right smack in the middle, up on the top.
There's Jimmy right there.
Yeah, goatee. When I had a goatee.
Yeah, with a hot dame on his arm.
Yep.
And is this Theodore Roosevelt? Theodore Roosevelt's right there.
Have you ever put Nelson in your comics?
Oh yeah, Nelson's in it. So there's Theodore Roosevelt. There's Ronald Reagan there. I'll show you Nelson. Nelson's in it. See, this is, like I said, the crazy shit we were doing. Here's Nelson. Nelson was the coroner. Nelson right there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there he goes.
There's Nelson.
Yep.
Trying to make him look cool. So there's Nelson with the bunny.
You should have Nelson on this show.
Oh, we've had Nelson on.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yep, when he promoted his book. So there's Nelson with the rabbit in his pocket.
Yep, his little rabbit. Yep. Yep.
And the devil hat. And it was all downhill from there.
He didn't like when we used to go rabbit.
No, he didn't. And then he didn't. Yeah. And
no, because he did that. He did a RoboCop cover. He got a job from Dark Horse Comics to do a RoboCop cover. And of all things, inside the book, he decides to make the cover of a robot rabbit.
Yeah.
And we made fun of him. We're like, you can't sell this thing. You just did a robot. We made fun of him. We wore T-shirts with the cover on it. And then he finally gave me the original art as a gift.
Oh, did because for our birthday in 1995, we had the bar at Openers, which was the comic book bar. It's down the road from Marvel, right? Well, it was way down the road from Marvel. It was on what, 4th Avenue, and
it was on the second and 24th.
24th, yeah, 2nd Avenue. And it was the comic book bar. That's where everybody went. That's where Jimmy took me for the first time, and I met everybody, me and Debbie. And for our birthday, we had this crazy birthday party in 1995. It was
very 90s.
It was very 90s, and we had a clown with a dildo that he would smack everybody with.
It was a transvestite clown. Smacking people with a dildo.
Yeah, and then we had a fire-eating dragon girl.
Yeah,
fire breather, which she had like a broken arm and these rods sticking out of her arm because she had broken her arm. I don't know if she fell at the subway. And then we had a little person,
Rodney.
Yeah, and with
Rodney. His name was Rodney.
Rodney. We had Rodney.
And he was naked except for like a little pair of underwear and boots, and he wore a Roman helmet.
And he's on the bar running up.
And he would run up and down the bar as somebody we know named Hildy would play the accordion for him. He was running back and forth. And we also had, do you remember when we had the electric chair there?
Yes.
The dominatrix girl and Nelson, they tied him to the electric chair.
I think that was the next birthday. That was
the next birthday. I remember we used to have a freeloader on our birthdays. Was it Ian Fella used to come?
Yes, Ian would always come in, and Ian was our buddy he was the editor-in-chief of Combo magazine, which was a great magazine. But his birthday is my birthday. So he and I had the same birthday. Jimmy's birthday's the day after mine, and we would have these crazy parties. And he'd always be there, man. Oh my God, look at that.
It's Combo.
Yeah, that was a good magazine.
My magic shelf here. Just
we were in every issue of Combo.
Yeah, we were. And so Jimmy would rent a beach house on Fire Island for like how long? 3 weeks? A month?
Yeah, I mean, I would do it a week or two at a time, but I did it for 13 years straight.
So Jimmy would invite us to come out. So Debbie and I came out. We were there when Princess Diana got killed. Remember that night? And Ian would come. So Jimmy's like, yeah, come on down to the beach house. So come for a day, stay a night, right? Hang out. We go to the bar, the restaurant. Jimmy he had a beautiful pool there. And then Ian would come and not tell it Jimmy, but that was his vacation. He would stay.
He would never leave.
Never leave. That was
and I would tell him, I'm like, if you're gonna come and stay, bring food because there's nothing on the island. You can't. There's a tiny grocery store that charge you like 8 times the price.
Yeah,
but he never bought anything.
Yeah,
the guy never bought. He lives near me somewhere around here.
But you don't even know. That's how close you are now.
Well, he's that's his choice.
Yeah.
I love Aaron's comment here. He's I feel like literally everything about this party could get you canceled in 2024. Literally everything.
Oh, it would destroy our careers.
You know what? Here's the fun part. No cell phones back then. No cameras.
Nope.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of photos from him, but I don't post them. I have one I found yesterday that I was laughing out loud because I'm like going, oh my God, I literally can get somebody pay me thousands of dollars not to show it.
Yeah. I have photos from that party, and I can grab them real quick.
Well, I think that's when you do the book, like, you know, the book about the 90s or comics in the 90s, and you put all those crazy photos in. Because what people don't understand was Marvel and DC comics in New York were not that far away from each other.
No.
And we had a bar called Openers where pretty much the bar, they were like friends of ours. And they would accommodate anything we did. Because we would always pack the bar with drunks. So they always made money every night, right, with us. But we would throw parties there. And I mean, they would have to, you know, we're talking about they'd have to have like pressure washers after our parties, you know. I mean,
there was also the building next door, the bar or whatever next door.
That the 2 doors away. Yeah,
you go and sneak in there and make out with girls.
I remember we had a 70s party. Do you remember the 70s party?
Yes.
With Greg Hildebrandt came dressed like in disco clothing, and do you remember the X Bar too, Billy? The X Bar,
which
on 23rd Street.
I don't know. I don't know.
It was another bar.
We might have gotten married and lived way out east now. We kind of missed that one. That's not where you guys had your little wedding reception, is it?
No, that was Josie Woods.
Yeah, I remember Josie Woods, and I remember
because the guys that owned, it's still there. It's still in New York. And Martin that owned the Openers owns Josie Woods.
Oh, it's okay.
It's Martin. So Martin let us have our little wedding party there, which he was great about. I mean, it was open bar for 4 hours, folks.
Yeah,
top shelf.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was, and everyone's there. You got Garth Ennis there. You got Paul Pope who's always said these things, drinking, just fun, crazy. Like you talk about crazy shit, crazy stuff.
I like Yo is saying every interview I talk about drinking. Yo, you need to drink a couple of glasses of water a day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're in trouble.
That's right.
So,
that's right. Baby. Yeah. So I remember, I think the disco parties when Nelson had the Kawasaki motorcycle jacket. Remember?
With the Predator hair.
Yeah. You guys like, what the hell are you guys talking about? But it was a lot of fun. I mean, everyone
before cell phone cameras ruined everything.
Yeah, and then every convention. So I remember there'd be like these New York cons, and then forget it. It was spilled out to the streets. He had the backyard. He had like a little outside area.
Scummy painted all the comic characters on the walls, and when we did the Ash deal with DreamWorks, we threw a party, and it cost me and Joe thousands of dollars because everyone from Marvel, DC, and Valiant came to it.
Oh wow!
And we had over 300 people in there completely. I have pictures of that. I have a picture with Dan DiDio with a full head of hair.
Oh really?
Yeah, because he wasn't in the business, but he was my neighbor, and I invited him. So he's in the pictures, and they're pretty good pictures. I gotta say, like, I would love to do a 90s photo book and find, because we just asked Maureen has probably the most photos of anybody.
That would be a fun Kickstarter, actually. Crowdfund it. I can give you my photos, and it's just like we call it like those were the days, or I don't know.
Or canceled. Just call it canceled.
Cancel. Because remember, John Cassidy was always there.
Yeah, John.
John was always at the bar, and just everybody. And like I said, when the conventions would come, they'd have the New York con. Then forget all the West Coast guys would come.
Right.
Everybody was there. I even think that Mignola. Well, I think Mignola lived in Brooklyn, right? Or something. He was there. Like holy shit.
It was many a night where I had to either carry someone or get a hotel room nearby and put them in it, or get them home, which was through where the car had to stay in. I said, "Your car is not leaving the city, but I'm going to get you home. Yeah. You have to come back tomorrow to get it." Mm-hmm. I have story upon story of having to get clothes for some because they threw up all over themselves, and I have so many stories about so many people that I will never tell. But it was definitely a very joyous time because we were all celebrating our youth. Comics were very successful, and we were all doing our own things. We even Brian Polito. Brian was at some of the parties. Yeah. Everybody was there.
I brought Jeff Smith down during the you had one when Toy Fair was in because
that's when we tattooed Jeff's butt, right? That time. No, I'm kidding.
I think so. So he came. And he's a good time. But as Jimmy said, we're in our 20s, early 30s. And, we're making money. Everyone in comics are making money. It was a killer time.
Rob Samsel. Remember Rob Samsel?
Yeah. God bless him. God love him.
Yeah.
And it was, like I said, nuts. I think Simonson was there. Walt
was there. There were people that would come in and out. I remember one time Mike Carlin walked in the door and just shook his head for 25 minutes. He couldn't believe what he was seeing.
And I remember there was a lot of women there. Maybe you think comics an old boys club, but it wasn't. I mean, Debbie would come with me, obviously, but there was a lot of women that worked for them.
The bullpen, Marvel bullpen, DC bullpen. There was there were women editors and assistant editors. There was a good mix. It was not, it was not what people might think it was. It was a really good mix. And the women you had to watch out for them because they were tough.
Predators.
New York women are tough.
Predators.
Nah, because I remember I brought Debbie. We're gonna go here. It's like, what am I gonna do there? Before we knew you.
Right.
And then and there's Amanda, and they're like, oh, and they became friends, and Maureen, of course, and a bunch of them.
Xena, and Hildy, and there was a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of fun times.
It was crazy. Like I said, it was just fucking smoking cigars. I think we could have smoked inside
in the backyard. Remember they had the patio out.
Okay, because I just remember always bringing cigars and smoking Samsel and just great. Mark from Wizard, all the Wizard guys would come. Garrett
would show up for 10 minutes. He'd come in and then be like, I can't be photographed here, and get out of there real quick.
How did you get this deal with DC again to do 21 down? Did you pull out an old Polaroid?
I got so many pictures. No, I mean, I gotta say, not having the camera phones, not having the cell phones, all that kind of stuff was really good for a lot of people because they got to unwind a little bit and not worry so much.
Yeah.
Because in the end, everybody was very protective of everybody there, and even when stupid things happen, we talk it out or we deal with it. It wouldn't become everybody else's business. I know it sounds like a little backwards thinking, but I also think sometimes people need to have a break from being in everybody else's business. It's why I like my backyard. Nobody's in it. So I can go back there and yell.
Yeah, sure. That was it. And because again, there never was. I don't remember any drama. I'm sure there was. People would, argue, especially, I was friends with you and a bunch of people, but we did our own thing, kind of. I wasn't working for Marvel at DC, so I didn't get involved. And you had some of them spats who stole this, who's trying to get whose job, but it wasn't like you said today. It's not spread out that someone would tweet and say, "Oh, so and so's a fucking asshole." And he's trying to, you know what I mean?
There was only one fight that ever broke out in there.
Oh, I didn't remember. I wasn't there, I don't think.
It was, do you remember Pat, the little guy, Pat, that worked there? He's that little Irish guy. Pat was like maybe 5'2", built like a spark plug. He was one of the owners.
Okay.
And
Noel,
Noel, we don't know, but Noel is now a professional clown in Ireland. But anyway, back to Pat. When we were there, this guy came to the bar that was drunk from another bar, and he started bothering one of the girls we knew. We didn't know this was happening at the time, and he went up to the bar and he was like bothering her. And Pat, I swear, is like 5'2", 5'3", built like a brick, and He jumps over the bar, grabs the guy who's a foot and a half taller than him by the ear, and pulls him out into the middle of the street, in the middle of 2nd Avenue, and kicks his ass, and then comes back in like nothing happened, like just that quick. And he's like, "It's okay, it's okay. I'm used to it. I do have to do that once or twice a week. It's okay."
Yeah.
And I just remember I was like, I am never messing with Pat.
Yeah.
I mean, to see a grown man have his ear grabbed and pulled out of a crowded bar,
Yeah.
it was quite impressive.
Yeah. And we would go there for dinner. Like we'd go there like Tuesday or something, because we did FedEx, and stuff like that. But like if Jimmy would ink the page, he's like, "I'll meet you at the bar." Like, all right,
Yeah, I had a locker there. I had a locker in the basement, and I remember because I used to have to take my mom. She had like breast cancer at one point. I used to have to take her uptown Manhattan, and on the way back as a treat, we'd stop there and they would make dinner for my mom.
Oh, great! Yeah,
and they would all sit with my mom and talk to her. And my mom loved it, right? Because you got all these young Irish guys, and they were all like, "Hey, Mrs. Palmiotti, how are you?" And it was just that they were really great guys, They owned the bar. They would protect us as well.
It was a great time. And real quick, Pop XP Network Comics Legend. Hi, Billy. Have the She action figures been shipped yet? No, they haven't. I signed them all. We're waiting on the metal trading cards because we decided to do a metal trading card. We decided to add the back, have a sticker on the back of the metal trading card. And we had some registration problems. So he's redoing them all. They should be done next week, and they'll all go out next week. So I'm sorry for the delay, but if I can share something real quick, I'll just share a page. Hang on. Sorry. Oh, wait. I think I put it in the hang on. I can it's in the brand, right? It's in the overlay or in the back. It's in the background. I'm sorry. Let me share it. Sorry. Give me a second. Jimmy, someone asked Niall if you want to pull that up. What's Jimmy's favorite drink?
Yeah, what's your drink of choice?
Oh, you're all going to be disappointed. Well, I like if I'm drinking a beer, I like a light beer because I like to mix it with a shot of Jack Daniels. So I don't go with a heavy beer. I always go with a light beer, and then I do a Jack. That's like my go-to drink if I have to have it at the bar.
Nice. I do the same thing, Jimmy.
Do you guys really?
Yeah.
And cocaine too. Cocaine's great. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Anyway, yeah. So, guys, here's my
for the Jack.
So I signed hundreds of these, hundreds of them. Oh yeah, thousands of them. All the orders, it's sold out. We signed them. If anyone's missing any, if anyone missed this campaign, as they do, Jimmy, right? We say,
yeah, they do. They do.
Debbie wrangled the last 30 from Executive Replicas, and once we get them in, we're going to sell them exclusively at the cons. So I might have 1 or 2 at Heroes Con, have maybe 5 at San Diego, and maybe we'll do a special convention edition with a special gold card or something cool like that. But they're all going to go out. Like I said, hopefully the metal trading card backs, the fronts are all printed. We just decided to add it back to the card. Well, that's my wife, by the way. And that's kind of what's holding it up. So thanks a lot, Comics Legend. Sorry, didn't mean for the delay, but they're beautiful. The figures.
I got a question about the figure.
Yeah.
What company is this?
Executive Replicas. Didn't I put you in touch with them ever?
Why does that sound familiar to me?
Winston's company.
He did the pro one, and
yeah, but
it's not squishy like those.
No, it's not. It's not like a mini real doll like those ones are.
Yeah,
this is a nice 6-inch figure. It's a little bit bigger, so it's comparable with like the Marvel and DC 6-inch figures. He's done Lady Death. He's done Dawn. He's done Vampirella.
And how many do you have to order from him?
I don't know. It's Debbie does all that. I don't know.
Oh, Debbie, okay.
But
how many did you sell for the campaign?
I don't for the 100 of them, and then and then they sold.
It's really limited edition.
Oh yeah, we bought 100, and then Debbie was able to get like another 60 more. So maybe 100 with the 30. So maybe 140 We sold. That's it.
I mean, it looks. I think it looks terrific. It looks great.
Yeah, I mean, we're not making really any money off of it, but it's a prestige thing. And
what is it like $150? How much is it?
With the metal trading card, I think it's $80.
80. Okay, yeah.
I think they only made 500 of them total.
Oh, okay.
So it's beautiful, man. I'm real proud of it. Very happy. And we'll have them at San Diego. And Jimmy, you're going to San Diego, right?
I am. I'll probably be at your table.
All right. You know who else is going to San Diego?
What's that?
You know who else is going to San Diego?
You.
Yeah, no, Joe Jusko.
He is a special guest of San Diego.
I know he's a special guest.
So is Dave Johnson.
Really? You know, that means they pay for everything for them.
It is. Have you ever had that happen?
Yeah, once.
Yeah, I think me once and Amanda once. By the way, in 20, how many years? Since 91, I've been going.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I've been going for every year. Hey, Bo.
Bo Smith.
Bo Smith.
Looks incredible, Billy.
Isn't he a movie star?
He is a movie star.
Smith?
He is. I've been going every year since 93. We've been exhibiting every year since 94. So this is our 30th anniversary.
Wow.
So we're pulling out all the stops. We're gonna have a ton of cool stuff. Special editions, all that.
Is there a spotlight on Billy Tucci panel since it's the 30th anniversary?
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. There's what we're looking at is it's actually not just me. It's the 30th anniversary Overstreet panel with Brian, with Lady Death and She.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You guys did the cover.
Yep, make a nice little party out of it because we did the cover to Overstreet Price Guy. JC Vaughn will be the moderator on it. Brian Francisco will be there. Me, Debbie, Steve Perros will be there. It's gonna be a fun panel. I'd like to get a cake. Brian's like, cake's a little messy, so maybe we'll get some.
How about a pie?
Maybe a pie.
Maybe a stack. Maybe a stack of pies.
A stack of pies.
You know that always ends well.
Yeah, I know. Yes. But no, we're gonna have I know we're gonna make buttons, cool little give away free buttons to everybody, Lady Death and She buttons, and if you guys want them, I'm sure we could figure out through the website for those who can't make it because it is so hard to get into that con. And we're just gonna have a lot of fun with it. But we are doing our comic book happy hour at the comic book couples panel. So that'll be a lot of fun.
That's going to be fun.
That's a Friday. Yeah, I think they learned their lesson though, because I kind of wanted it to be Thursday night at 5 o'clock. But no,
they're making us get up early, man.
Yeah, it's like Friday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like
they don't want you drinking.
Yeah, because
they don't want us drinking.
The girl ratted us out, and I'm like,
that's what I'm talking about, man. I'm talking about that. People are just. They got nothing better to do. They got to rat people out.
She's a volunteer, and she wasn't done, but she saw so many people were coming into this panel, and she's like, "Oh, I guess I'll stay." So Debbie bought some wine.
We should have bribed her.
I know. I should. I made her feel bad. So she's done. She's a volunteer. She got into the con. She's supposed to sit there at the panels. If anyone needs anything, they give waters out to people. They put your little placards up with your names on it. And that's it. And then so she was done with the panel before us, but she saw we had a big panel. A lot of people came in. We're all laughing, stuff like that. So she's like, "Oh, these people look like fun." So then we kind of maybe had a bottle, and then she calls her boss. They're drinking at this panel. Is that fuck? It's happy hour with the comic book couples. What do you think?
It was night.
Yeah, it's at night. It was the last panel of the freaking.
The sun was down. The sun was down. I saw. Yeah. Once the sun goes down, anything goes.
Sun goes down.
Buzzkill.
Anything goes.
She was the buzzkill. If I see her, she just better not be seen by me.
She came by my booth and we gave her hell. We were like, "Really? You got me in big trouble. I don't know if I can come back next year for this." It's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm just kidding with you." But why would you do that?
Right? Why would you rat us out?
Everyone does cool stuff like that, and then I don't know. And we had cups, Dixie cups, and everything like that. No,
Yeah, we shared with the underage. It was great.
Yeah. Let's talk about that one. Darwin did that. Or was that you or Darwin?
Yes.
So but that kid wasn't.
It was the guy that's not here anymore. He did it all.
The guy who wasn't here anymore. But that kid was of age.
We did a contest to win a prize, and one of the things is the kid had to drink a beer
Chug a
in
beer.
one sip. And he did it. And then he says, we thought he was older. And he goes, that's the first beer I ever drank. And I'm like, how old are you? He goes, 16. I'm like, whoops.
That's out of San Diego. That's at the show. And we're like, he's like, that was my first beer. Because remember, he almost threw up. And Darwin's like, "You'll finish that."
I think we did what we did is we under everyone's chairs we put theirs.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to win prize, they had to reach under the chair and volunteer to do the dare. My favorite dare, there was a lot of great ones, but my favorite one was a guy had to win. I think it was a print, a special signed print. He had to go up to Frank Thierry's face and curse at him for 2 minutes straight, and we had to time it. And this guy ripped into Frank. He talked about Frank's mother. He went off on Frank, and Frank just stood there and took it, and then said, "Okay, you win. Now get away from me right now."
That is funny.
That was a funny one. That was Snyder was on that panel too, right?
Yeah, we booed when he came in. Remember, everybody booed.
That's right. He walked in late. We all went boo. We all booed Scott.
We actually, last year San Diego, Amanda and I did a panel with Scott and his daughter, and he was late. I didn't find out later, but he lost his wallet. He was late to the panel, and I told everyone in the panel, and it was big. It was like 1,000 people. I said, when he comes in, just boo him until he gets on the stage. And they booed him the whole way. He's walking in on the stage, and he's like, "What? I don't understand." And then he says, "I lost my wallet." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, that kind of feel bad now, almost.
That's he deserves it. Jimmy, today I bought 21 Down issues 1 through 7. Little too late. I'm from Colombia, but I found out that the history has no end.
Well, it was 13 issues.
13, yeah.
So you're a couple short, Dante, but you bought it from Colombia. Are you from Colombia, or you bought them in Colombia? There's a big difference.
Right. He says, I little too late. I'm from Colombia, but I found out that the history has no end. But well, cool. Good news, Dante, my friend, is that you can get this right now. There's 7 days left to this campaign, and you'll never be able to get it ever again. So you can get the issues 1 through 13 as a collected edition.
Right. I'm going to give Dante a harsh reality, though. Comic stories don't end. Comics don't end. The stories end. Parts of the stories end, but they don't actually end. Unless you read Preacher, that one kind of ended. That had an ending.
Yeah, that did have an end.
We're in the business of continuing our stories forever until we're dead. The only thing that ends is us. When we end,
that's right.
But then you have somebody in the future like Billy who takes your thing that goes public domain and continues.
That's right. Hey, if you lose it, I'm trying to, what are you going to do?
No, I like your Mickey Mouse. Or am I allowed to call him Mickey Mouse?
I don't know.
It's
Are we allowed to? What?
Oh, Steamboat. I don't want to say I love you, Steamboat Willie, because that sounds really wrong. But
toot toot.
Toot, toot, Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie.
Well, this book looks great, Jimmy.
I colored that page.
You colored this?
Yeah, I colored that page.
And now, so here's the thing. We're talking to Graham Nolan. Graham is a big fan of Procreate. Yes. I remember Amanda and you showing me Procreate 2 years ago. You really come a long way with it. I mean, I guess it's like a Photoshop, right?
It's easier than Photoshop. So it's only you can only get Procreate on the Mac iPad. Number one. Number two, it's around 1,000 times easier to use than Photoshop. And number three is the program itself. You buy it once. I think it's $9.99, and that's it. Where Procreate, they charge you like $20 every month. It's ridiculous. So Procreate, you only pay one fee once and use it forever. And it comes with 1 million brushes, plus people share brushes. So I just got a cool brush that's called an Eisner, and it's like Will Eisner's line. And I got a Jack Davis, which is like Jack Davis's line. But people draw on them. I've been coloring on them mostly, though, but it's made for people like me who don't know how to use Photoshop and just want to look at. I just want to do it. And I learned watching videos on YouTube how to color the books.
Well, it was created because of the frustration with Photoshop. They felt
Yes.
it was kind of archaic, the
Yes.
style and how they're doing it. So they actually came and wanted to create something better. And when the iPad Pro came out and a stylus was finally introduced to the iPad,
Yeah.
the developer came out and they made this, and it's come a really long way. And there's going to be a massive update to it very shortly, especially with the new M4 iPad out.
Right.
All those apps are going to be getting some massive overhauls.
Yeah, you have to be careful because it's RPG. There's like a color thing that some things don't print. If you scan up and go back a page, I think if you can kind of push it. So a guy like me, it's like I look at this and I'm like, I put a blue sky, and then they have a brush that's like a cloud brush, and if you use it the right way, you can kind of you look how pretty that looks. I mean, and even the road, I use like these textured, kind of gravelly looking texture stuff for the roads. And it's a very subtle thing. Like there's not a ton of coloring, but it does give you a sense of depth. Like it's far away. I like the colorist in me, because he didn't draw it. I put the shadows on the ground of the telephone poles, and they weren't drawn in. But I figured, if I'm going to do color, they would cast a shadow, and it gives a sense of perspective too, right? It gives it a sense of it going far. So it's little things like that where you can really do some cool stuff with it. I recommend it for everybody if you're a control freak like I am. But I'm only going to get better with it. I think it just takes time.
Yeah.
Well, it looks great, bro. It looks fantastic. It looks like you're having a lot of fun with it. So, Jimmy, okay, this campaign ends in 7 days.
Yes.
It's convention season's coming in. Where can people see you guys? I know you got Nashville this weekend, but after that, and then what's next for you publishing wise?
Yeah, we got Heroes Con.
Oh, cool. We'll be there
coming up, and then of course San Diego with you guys, and that's it for now. I mean, New York has been announced, right? So it'll be in the New York Comic Con, and then I think, and they announced this in Baltimore as well. So we're doing a lot of shows.
Oh, good.
And
are you going back to
coming out
this year?
What's that?
Are you doing Terrificon again this year?
No, they're skipping a year with us on this year because we did it last year. I also have the Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger coming out in November from Todd McFarlane.
Yes,
and that's a monthly book. That's a monthly book I'm writing where Patrick Reynolds is drawing it, and then the next Kickstarter. As soon as this one's over, the next one lined up is Sex and Violence 4.
Nice.
And it's the main story is drawn by Amanda, my wife Amanda, and Ben Caldwell. And it's basically, you're gonna love this story, Billy. It's about a woman that was like during World War II. She was like Captain America type character. But the story is about her in a senior's home. And one of the nurses is abusive, and it's their battle in a nursing home. Of course, Amanda's drawing it, right? So she could draw old people and stuff like that. And we do have flashbacks when she was younger and everything. That's the Ben Caldwell stuff. But Amanda's doing the main story, and it's insane. It's so much fun. And we got Justin Gray on that one. We got
nice.
We got a whole bunch of stuff to be announced on that one. But that's a bigger book. It has like 4. I think it has 4 stories in it around the themes of sex and violence. This one is not for kids. Justin's story is graphic. I will say Justin's story is like bloody and sexual, and it's pretty graphic. He took it too far, which we kind of okay with, but he definitely took it too far.
You can never go too far in comics.
No, I hear you, man. I mean, I guess get some,
but it's,
you can, I guess, but. I mean, is there an adult version of She? Are you going to put out like a She late night?
Well, the adult version of She is because she's like, in her 40s now. So that's the adult version of She.
There you go.
Hey, if I can answer this real quick. Comics Legend, Billy, you mentioned that your next campaign won't be an omnibus. When can we expect to see the new campaign? Any hints on the new IP? Looking forward to finding out more. Thank you, Comics Legend. If I can... the next campaign will launch in June next month. We're gonna launch it, and then that's the Gatecrasher book, and then we're gonna be doing our next 6 campaigns where we've already scheduled into 2026. Our next 6 campaigns, at least our next 6 campaigns, will be all original graphic novels, and we're introducing our new IP in 2025. And Debbie thinks it's the best thing I've ever come up with. But I can't give away anything. But
I think you should do a Punisher-like book. I think you should do something called The Everyman, and he lives in Long Island, and like the taxes are high, and his kids keep him busy, and his neighbors complain about him and everything, and he just snaps. And what he does is he just takes his boat to Fire Island and claims it that's his island and nobody's allowed on it.
It's my island. Right at the end. Yeah, and his truck gets destroyed and realizes the only way.
He booby traps it so the cops can't drive on the island. Maybe we call it the Islander. And the Islander and like the Highlander, but it's the Islander. And he literally makes Fire Island his island. He won't let anybody on. He patrols it.
I even got my hat.
There you go.
And
dude, I would read that.
He yells a lot. He yells a lot. His voice cracks and gets real high.
Yeah, you can cover the soundtrack too.
Yeah, that's happening real soon. You ever see Falling Down? You're gonna have Falling Down Suffolk County instead of Los Angeles. Falling Down Long Island soon. Anyway, all right. Well, Jimmy, bro, I'm so first of all, I'm psyched for San Diego when we see you guys, because that's always great. I was talking to Brian. I love that we all went to dinner, and hope we could do that again.
I think we're planning something big, aren't we?
Yeah, for like maybe Thursday night, like we did. That was a lot of fun. Nice, quiet.
No, dinner. I mean in the future.
Oh yeah, well, I don't know what you could say about that.
Not saying anything.
Okay,
I'm just saying we're planning something big for the future.
Something huge is coming.
Huge.
Something huge.
It's a lot of fun. And talk about crazy.
It's never been done.
No, it's never been done. It's crazy, and it's gorgeous. It's crazy. It's violent, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Yeah, it's never been done before.
Nope.
So it's gonna be it's
3 times as good as anything you've ever read before.
That's right. There you go. But Jimmy, I'm psyched to see you. And Vaughn Coleman's here. I think Vaughn Coleman will be in Terrificon. Debbie and I will be in Terrificon. William and I will be in Heroes Con. My son's coming with me, and then San Diego. So looking forward to seeing you guys, and maybe we can get down there in September again, which we're planning on coming.
Yeah, come on down. Rent that crazy house again.
That
there
would be in the spring, but this is just for we rented an awesome house. But guys, thank you all for joining us tonight. I know we've gone over it. We're trying to cut these things down to an hour, and we keep going over. Jimmy, thanks a million, buddy, for joining us. Any last things you want to say? You want to share? Talk about. I'm looking forward to whoever I'm going to see this weekend, and support. That number hasn't changed since we started the show. I'm wondering if nobody backed it from this show. That would be very sad. Right. Let's see if it changes.
Let's refresh it. You usually don't have to do that.
Yeah, no, it hasn't changed. I don't know.
Come on, guys.
What's with you people?
Yeah, let's back it. You people.
What do you mean?
Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks a million, Jimmy. Thanks.
Take care, guys.
Everyone have a great night, and we'll see you guys next week, brother.
All right, sounds good. And everyone, the links in the chat below, the links in the live chat if you want to check out the campaign for yourself. And while you're there, make sure to click that subscribe button and smash that bell for notifications and give us a like. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks again, Jimmy, and I'll talk to you later, Tooch.
Later, brother. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at ThePopXP and over on Instagram at ThePopXP. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you soon.